Okay, Paul, thanks for joining us tonight. So looking back, we're third away through the season, currently sat in fifth in the league, including 8 wins, 2 draws and 4 losses. How would you reflect on the first 14 games?
Well, it's been an up and down, hasn't it? It's been obviously that fantastic start, racing to 6 wins in the league and progression in the cups early on, and looked fantastic. And then obviously we've had a little bit of a very difficult little run recently, where things haven't quite gone our way and performances haven't quite been on the same level. So a bit like my school reports, really, must do better. I think that's the look. It's been a good start. I think it's been overall. Let's try and take the emotion out of it. We're all disappointed at the run that we're on at the moment. Let's try and keep a cool head, and we're presently in fifth. And yes, we've got to arrest this run of form. Hopefully it happens on Saturday. If it doesn't, we keep working, and there's a long way to go. And I think the beginning of the season showed we're capable of putting a little run together at any point during this season. So, let's keep working and stay together and see what we can do.
And obviously you touched upon that start there to the season, which was enjoyed by all, but obviously that included FA Cup wins against Yates and Taunton as well as FA Trophy win at home against Dorchester. Do you look back on those games as any different to the league games, or is it all sort of amalgamated into one?
No, I think we've just got to look to that to see what we can do. And the performances against Taunton, two performances were excellent against the top club. So we've got to look to that for inspiration, and we've got to try and it's not easy. Confidence isn't, you can't just switch confidence on and off. We're going to have to fight for that to get that confidence back. We're going to have to fight. Look at the start of the season. The first game against Dorchester, it was a bit of a scrap. TV, we needed a last minute winner, and then the confidence started to flow. So we almost need to just get over the line again a couple of times, and then the confidence will start to come back, and then we can put another run together. But this is the most difficult part of it now, starting that kind of run again.
And obviously reflecting then on the FA Cup and FA Trophy, obviously disappointing then with the Sheppey result, and obviously going up to Totton last week in the FA Trophy. Do you see that Sheppey game as maybe a little bit of a turning point?
I think it was a bit of a turning point, to be honest. We played well in the first half at times there, having reflected on the game, and again it was a story of maybe we got a bit too complacent at that point, and we thought the chances would just keep coming, and then fair play to Sheppey. They were clinical in the second half, took the game away from us, and I think that did knock us. I think that's something that we've struggled to get over. The Tottenham game away from home in the trophy was totally different. I think going down there on a Tuesday night was very difficult. A quick turnaround after being postponed on the Saturday. It's not like everyone could get out of work. We didn't have everyone available. So the boys put in a great effort, but that was a totally different game to maybe the Sheppey one. So it's all part of football, isn't it? We win, we lose, and we've got to try and do our best that we can to make as many of the moments positive as possible.
And you touched on it a little bit there, obviously with the number of boys that had to miss that Sheppey game, whether it's through injury or other circumstances. Going into the season, you assembled quite a large squad. Was that the sort of idea behind it, just to have a bit of strength and depth and to have numbers when needed?
Yeah, I think you're obviously looking for competition for places. Do I want to carry such a big squad? Maybe not, but then you look at the last couple of weeks and we've needed everybody that we've got, and there's opportunities for people. So it's gone in fits and starts. We've had a couple of spells where we've had struggled to fill a bench, and youth team players have come down, and then we've had other games where we've had to leave 3-4 out of the squad. So no doubt that'll continue, and hopefully the players who get the opportunity to play, whenever that may be, will take their opportunities and improve the current level of performance that we've seen. Just that little, just 2 or 3% off at the moment, that's it. And if we can get that back, then we're capable of going on another run.
And obviously mentioning the squad size, obviously very positive from a fan's point of view. You brought Lewis back to the club this week after a short spell away. What was the thought and obviously the agreement with Lewis to get him back here?
Yeah, look, delighted to be able to bring Lewis back in. Big thanks to him for coming back in. We've been in dialogue ever since the start of the season, really. Lewis had no pre-season, right? So, you know, you look at that, and then we started so well. So Lewis went out to get a few games, get a month under his belt, and then that was obviously extended a little bit because of how we were going. Lewis is at a stage of his career where, you know, he's not going to he didn't want to come back too soon, and while things were going, you know, well, we weren't changing things, and that's the same would have been for Lewis, for any players. We weren't really changing things at that time. So the best thing for him was to keep playing and keep building his sharpness. And I've seen him out there tonight in training. He's looking sharp, he's confident, and that's all come from that little run of games that he's had. I mean, if we didn't do that, we might have lost Lewis full stop. Do you know what I mean? Because if he wasn't playing in that run at the beginning, he might have gone elsewhere for good. So I'm really thankful for Lewis that he made the decision that he did to stay with the club, to go out on loan, to get some fitness. You know, he had no pre-season. It's worked out perfectly. We've been in dialogue for the last few weeks, and we both feel that now's the right time for both parties.
And obviously, very positive for the fans, and you saw the reaction on social media the last few days since he's returned. Going back to the winning start at the start of the season, how do you think that impacted on not just the squad but the club as a whole in terms of positivity, not just within the ground itself but amongst the town?
Yeah, I'll touch on the Lewis one again a minute first. I think Lewis is an excellent player, fantastic goal scorer. I've said that lots of times last season. I don't want us to put too much pressure on that he's coming in now and he's going to, you know, turn this whole run of form round. It'd be great. You think he can contribute to it. I think he can contribute to turning the form round. But let's not try and put we've got lots of good players, and bringing him back is definitely bringing in assets that we need right now. But we've got a fantastic squad of players, and it's up to all of them. You know, I don't want to throw the pressure on Lewis that he's got to score the goals and turn this run of form around. And going back to the start of the season, I think the positivity, it did kind of show a little bit more of the potential that the club has, because crowds were swelling, crowds were growing. I think that little run of too many games at home, probably we would have had a higher average crowd at this point if it wasn't for that, where, you know, people, we appreciate people have to keep spending their money, keep coming in. It's not easy, and you can sometimes it's good to miss it for a little while. So look, our form hasn't been good, and now we need the supporters. You know, they came and got behind us when we were winning, and now I think we need them to come and get behind us when it's not going so well. And maybe rather than us giving them something to come in and see, maybe we need them to come in and get behind us, as I know so many people have, and still trying to spread the message to pack the park, even though our form hasn't been good of late. And that's exactly what we need. We need right now as a club and as a town, all sticking together and pulling in the same direction.
And as we look ahead, obviously this weekend, familiar opponents in that we faced them quite recently. What's the thoughts and feelings amongst the squad, obviously on the back of this sticky run, and then going into a tough game like Totton on Saturday?
Yeah, confidence is something you can't just switch on. You know, we're going to have to fight for that now over the next few games, and really fight to get our back. And that's what we're looking for this weekend. We're looking to really fight and scrap against, you know, a team to give nothing away, against a very good, very talented team with, you know, plenty of resources. They're an ambitious club looking to go, you know, and compete at the top end of this division straight away and move on from that. So it's a big test Saturday, but we're all working hard. Everybody's been in tonight. Everybody's going to be in on Thursday, preparing as best we possibly can to try and arrest this little run of form against a very, very good team.
And you mentioned obviously training tonight with good numbers, and obviously those boys still on the treatment table. Is there any updates on those going into the weekend?
Yeah, Matt, he's had a bit more treatment. He's going to have to see how it is on Thursday. He'll try and train on Thursday. Joe Keeping's likely to be unavailable on Saturday. Liam Angel's missed training tonight with a little knee knock. We're hoping Lewis's international clearance and registration will come through in time for Saturday. Nye Livermore's back after a period of illness on the weekend. He was ill, a bit of tonsillitis. Kieran's struggling with his groin and a bit of tonsillitis as well. So at the moment, it's a little bit up in the air as to how many and who we get back. Joe Woodywis and Tom Hillman have returned after a holiday and work, respectively. So, you know, we've got a strong squad to choose from, even if there are one or two still missing come the weekend. And
bit of an open question: is there anything else you would like to touch upon after the sort of opening start of the season, being a third of the way through now? and any other messages obviously to the fans?
No, I think look, a huge thank you for the start that we had to the season. In terms of the support that we've had at home, it's been immense. I think we've all seen the outpouring on social media of support that the boys and us as a club receive, and even when things have not been going well, the messages of support go a long way. And the one thing I would say is let's still maintain a little bit of perspective. I understand that expectations went through the roof in the start of the season, and we want to get back to that, and I believe we can get back to that. I believe firmly that this group can get back to going on a long winning run. I think we can go longer than what we did at the start of the season, but right now that's not happening, and let's all stick together. Let's get a bit of perspective of where we've travelled in the last 18 months, and let's just come in Saturday really positive. Supporters, players, staff, everybody, let's come in and have a real good go on Saturday.
That's great. Thanks, Paul.
Cheers, Jack.